All right, yo, welcome back to episode 18 of the Cutting Deals podcast. We're at the new shop right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And for today's guest, we have our good friend Ben.
What's up? I'm honored to be in the new space.
Yes, sir. This is the first one. We're breaking its virginity. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Popping the cherry on this one, boys. Let's go.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
So tell us about yourself, Ben.
Yeah, that's a open-ended question. So I am a social media entrepreneur is probably the easiest way to explain it. So I run an agency where we help people grow online. So we've helped a lot of podcasts, YouTubers, and a lot of info product sellers. So like course creators, consultants, stuff like that, scale online. And then we build our own assets too. So basically like we do done for you services and then we reinvest profits into building our own stuff.
So how did you get into this line of work?
So I really wanted to be like an NFL player. That was like my life dream, was to play sports. And then I really like everything else was second. Like I only went to school to play sports. And then when I went to university, I studied marketing just because I thought it'd be the path of least resistance. I'm like, marketing's a joke. Like, let's just go do that. And then I got hurt. So I stopped playing football. And luckily I was in the internship program at school. And so I had to be in work placements, and every work placement I went into, they were so mad that I wasn't a social media expert. And I went into it, I remember thinking like, okay, I want to go study marketing because they're going to teach me social media stuff, because I was always a super entrepreneurial kid. I'm like, if you give my entrepreneurial like want and talent, and then with the internet, like that's the perfect combo. And they taught us nothing like that at university, like literally nothing. And so after like the third time, my employer was mad at me for no reason. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to become that guy. And then it all went from there.
Wow. That's sick.
What was your first like entrepreneurship venture?
Like depends how serious you're talking, because like I started hustling as soon as I could talk, basically. Like I was always the kid flipping things like Pokemon cards, and I was always pretty good at that kind of stuff. Like I would always get the best deal, and usually the kid at the time would be happy, but then later he'd go home and tell his mom he lost his Beyblade or whatever. And then the next day I'd get a call, my parents would be like, you gotta give it back. I'm like, well, he was happy at the time, you know? And so then that grew into, like, I had a paper route. And then the first like serious hustles, I started a longboarding company with a buddy of mine in high school. And so everyone was riding longboards, and I've always been like, how can I take what someone's doing, and instead of like riding that hype, make my own hype off of that? Everyone was obsessed with these loaded longboards. And so where I'm like, these are $300 a pop. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I was super poor at the time. So I was like, hey, can we make this? My dad worked in construction. So too did my buddy Kurt's dad. And so we figured out how to make a jig. We went to an exotic wood store, and then we made like a custom mold that was almost the exact same cut as the loaded one. And then we sold them in our high school. And so that was like the first like real business endeavor.
We don't do longboards in St. Thomas, man.
No.
What we did was like
we sold hats.
We sold hats.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Mitchell and Ness like hats?
Oh, snap! Yeah, we sold snapbacks too.
Yeah. I had a guy sell snapbacks in your high school.
Do
Actually.
you remember Corey?
Yeah.
No,
Corey Millette.
Oh, yeah, I do remember him because we were there first, and then he tried to infiltrate like the market, and I was like, get the fuck out of here.
So that was my hats that he was selling.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys source it from?
From DH Gates.
Yeah, DH Gates.
Yeah,
is the plug.
so I still have my orders. I remember. So I ordered 380 hats.
Yeah.
And I sold it in less than like 6 weeks.
Yeah. We had like, I think the first order was 90, and the whole order cost was like $150.
Yeah.
And we sold some of like the Tisa caps at like 35, 40 bucks a
yeah.
pop.
And like, I only have one of these, right?
Super low.
Yeah.
And then we flipped through those. But the real money after that, like that was great, but that was very much a fad, like the snapbacks and shit.
That's why it only lasted 6 weeks for me.
Yeah.
So, you know, because
Go ahead.
I messed up the whole market, you know. I gave it all to everyone already.
It's too saturated.
Yeah. So what we did is we did jerseys after that. And so we made it like it was like custom, being like, okay, I can get whoever you want, but you got to pay beforehand. That was mint, because I didn't have to sell after. Like basically I sent a sheet around the school. They'd say what they want, what size and all that shit. And I'd charge them. They'd pay me up front. And then I'd just go buy it.
That's actually
like
so
drop
smart.
shipping.
Yeah, it was exactly like drop
Well,
shipping.
it was kind of crazy because like the first time we ever met like Ben, we met him at the YMCA, and him and Kurt, they were both rocking like a jersey. Ben was rocking a Michigan, like he would always rock this Michigan jersey. Yeah. And his boy Kurt would always what's it called?
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. And we used to just all play ball with each other.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, bro. That was like what, 15 years ago now almost?
Yeah, it's a long time ago, man. That was like 2000 and
2010. No, we weren't 12.
No, 13 years.
I think we were
2010. So like 13 years ago.
Yeah.
13 years ago, but
Yeah.
still, that's
That
crazy,
is,
bro.
damn, that seems so much
I was like
more
9.
recent.
Yeah.
You were
that's crazy.
9?
Yeah, 9 or 10.
God damn.
How old are you, bro?
24 right now.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Everyone says that,
Everyone
bro.
says that.
Everyone's like,
I would have thought you were our age.
No, it's the beard. It's the beard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
the beard, man. So tell us more about like your page on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. So once I stopped playing ball, I was like, okay, let's just fast track this plan. Because the whole plan was play ball. In my naive brain, I was like, okay, I'm going to go play in the NFL. And then after I'm done the NFL, I'm going to be a serial entrepreneur. And I'm like, okay, well, football's gone now. Let's fast forward to the entrepreneur part. And so I actually started making content for the first time about a knee injury that I had, because I always knew I wanted to create content. I knew that was the way to go. But I didn't have a thing to talk about that much because I was a kid in uni. I tried vlogging and stuff like that, but no one gives a shit about your vlogs unless you're doing crazy stuff or you're like overly entertaining. So I started making videos about my knee because after I hurt my knee, I went to look on the internet and there was nothing. Like the content was so bad. There was no one there to answer any questions or like share the experience. So I just did that and it got so many views. Like through that, I don't do anything half-assed. So I learned how all this stuff works. And then I was getting hundreds of thousands of views so quickly and like making money from this. And then it just grew from there. But it's really funny. The first videos ever on my channel were about my knee.
Oh, no way.
So
How
random.
long did it take for you to get monetized on YouTube?
So I started just before they added in that cutoff of monetization. So I was lucky that I was already basically in there by the time that came in. So there was never a point where I wasn't monetized. Because back in the day, if you just made a channel, you were automatically monetized as long as you signed up for the partner program. And to do that, all you had to do was prove your address. That was it. And so I was already in there, and then I'd never really left because I had already hit that milestone.
Yeah, because
before
right
they
now
put
you
it
have
in.
to hit a certain amount of subscribers, right?
It's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Or if you go through shorts, it's like 1 million shorts views, something like that. There's a few different metrics that you can hit.
Oh, damn, that's so rough now. Like I feel like it's so much harder now to become like, like a YouTuber in my opinion, because it's so saturated.
There's always
know?
room for good shit though.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people who think that it's saturated because they don't get how YouTube works. Like we're starting new channels all the time, and I grow each channel now like faster than I ever did before. It's never been easier to grow really because there's more information on how to do it properly, right? And so it's like you either do it really well or you don't do it at all in terms of like success on YouTube. The rich get richer. It's kind of like every economy, right? And those that win, they win so big, and there's so many people just trying to break through. And we can talk about the different ways that you can go about doing it, because there's a lot of real shitty YouTube advice out there, like so much.
Okay, tell us one.
Yeah.
So if you go look at any YouTube advice channel, like any one of them, they'll be like, okay, focus on search traffic, because search traffic YouTube is a search engine. Google owns YouTube, so YouTube's actually the second largest search engine in the world. So in theory, that sounds like a solid strategy because it's what they say is like, oh, it's more guaranteed views because if you do X and you get Y. It's based on how many people are searching for it. You can get that many views hypothetically, right? But what they fail to mention is that if you're playing the search-based game, if you don't win in search, you get no views at all. Because basically there's three or four different traffic sources across YouTube. There's YouTube search. There is browse. So when you go in and you open up the app, like your homepage, that's browse. There's suggested. So that's whenever you watch a video, what pops up on the right, that's suggested. And then there's like other sources that are like from off the platform and stuff like that. But people say go after search. Search is only like 15% of traffic across YouTube total. So even if you win there massive, you're not getting like the other 85% of traffic.
Wow.
And the thing is, if you go after search, it's only going to work in search, because think about it like the person searching it. If you type in, let's say, best barbershop in Oakville. Let's say you made that video targeting that exactly, which would be a good idea. You guys should make that video. But it would only ever do well in search because who in the world's going to click that on their homepage, right? Like you only want that if you're searching for it. And so that's why I think that's the biggest horrible advice when it comes to YouTube. But it's because it's easier. Like a search-based video is so straightforward because YouTube SEO is baby food. It's very, very easy.
Bro, every time I cut Ben's hair, like I always learn so much more about like YouTube, because the only thing we talk about is like YouTube and like all that stuff.
Social
and like what
shit.
he can I always call Lauren actually. I'd be like, yo Lauren, like Ben's here, and like Lauren's so excited to just like chat with
he's a
Ben
beast,
and
man.
so it's pretty sick, because like I even see the growth in like Lauren with like like our podcast, for example, right? What he does is like he would change up like little things that he doesn't like, even with like the shorts and all that stuff. So I'm just like, wow, like
I mean, yeah, that TikTok blew up, bro.
And
Yeah.
I called that.
Yeah.
In your shop, I said that one's gonna go.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I left and it went.
Oh,
Yeah,
say we're
'cause-
like the surgery one.
yeah. I
Yeah.
literally said I went. He cut my hair like was it a month or two ago.
I
And
think
was like,
so.
And I was like, that thing's about to go. And then the next day, I said, was this not the one I said was gonna
Yeah.
go?
It's like at 1.2 or
say
something.
word.
Yeah, 1.2 million. And
Yeah,
I'm just like,
1.2
bro, that's so
million.
crazy.
That's insane. Though.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So
it's just
like,
a
did
little
anyone
tweaking.
like teach you on how to do all these things, or like was it just all like self-taught?
So a lot of it was self-taught, but then once I started having some money, because I started my agency when I was in school, and so I just basically reinvested all of that after supporting myself, like buying food and whatnot. I reinvested it into courses. So like I was in school, but I did legitimately zero schoolwork. Like literally no university time was ever spent in school. I was doing courses about like YouTube and social media and that stuff, and I did paid courses, and that stuff was honestly game-changing. But once you learn how to learn in that space, everything becomes so easy. Everything's right there in front of you. Like I call it like developing with the social eye. You can just deconstruct why something worked and then use that for yourself. And there are lessons in like every single viral video. That's why when I saw that video, I'm like, that's gonna pop, because you learn this thing. Mr. Beast talks about this shit all the time, where it's like it's hard to explain it until you know it. But once you have that epiphany moment, when I post something, I can almost tell like within like 5-10% how many views it's gonna get, like all the time, because of how many times we've done this. So it is very much a science. Like, it's not luck. It's 100% shit you can learn.
So what's like the biggest thing you could say for to when you watch a video, like is it like an emotional thing, or like is it like a
That's a great question.
or is it like just visually like how the quality is, or what do you think is like the biggest point?
No, that's a fantastic question. And I think it totally depends what kind of content you're talking about, because like short form content is a totally different beast than YouTube long form content. And so it's like totally different equations and questions. But for short form stuff, editing doesn't matter nearly as much as people think, in terms of like, it doesn't need to look really, really pretty. Like look at a lot of the super viral videos. They're not like really, really well edited. It is more the emotional aspect, right? So it's like, how do I leverage borrowed attention? So if you look at a lot of clips that are doing really, really well, it's because they're around universally interesting topics or people. Right? Like 9 times out of 10, it's like, so that's why a lot of people, they go and create content. Let's say you're a barbershop, right? Yes, you guys are. And if you just made content about dudes' hairs every day, there's the likelihood of that going viral is almost zero, unless you were like to make it very cinematic in terms of like cool edits and whatnot. Instead, you want to go after like things that people are interested in. And so I actually gave this idea for your guys' shop. If you want to make content for the people you're trying to reach, right? And so if for you guys being a local based shop, content made around like living in this area would do so much better than shit about hair.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing a lot lately,
Yeah,
actually.
likewise.
So if you could tell, like we've been going around the neighborhoods and stuff and all those things, because I feel like that's exactly what we're trying to target, is the whole
people.
market right here.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So
100%.
what we did was like 2 weeks ago, we got the tracksuits that Leo's wearing right now.
Those are dope, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, bro. So what we did was there was like 8 of us, and we just all went downtown and just took pictures with Lauren. And then everyone would stop us and be like, oh, like, are you guys like athletes and stuff like that? And I'd be like, yeah, we're cricket players, you know? And then we're like, no, we're just a barbershop, like just down the street and stuff like that. But it got so much engagement to the point where it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was
do
really
this
good
all the
PR,
time,
actually.
you know?
Just
Yeah.
walking around and stuff like that, and actually talking to the people that lives here it is a big difference.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
to answer your question, sorry, I kind of went around it. Is in a short form video, typically this word hook is used all the time, and it's like the first few seconds, and it does matter, but people obsess over words too much. Like, so basically, think about the viewer's perspective. They're looking for a reason to swipe away because they know the next swipe is probably going to be something dope, because the algorithms know them so well. So you have to basically constantly structure your content, understanding that they're trying to leave. Right. And so that's why if you're new to the game, you really have to get good at creating hooks and thinking about, okay, what does this person want? What are their fears? What kind of transformation do they want? And work that into your content around the subjects. There are people that break those rules, but that's only because they did those things first, right? Like your hook eventually becomes you because they fuck with you. But like, so that's why people try to copy Mr. Beast or like all these people. It's like they don't play by the same rules that you or I would starting fresh, because they have like their face is now the hook.
I feel like I see that on our other channel. Like, so we have 2 channels, obviously, you know, like our podcast, right?
Yeah.
Our Filipino channel, I feel like
It's popping.
it's popping more, and like the engagement is more because I feel like they feel a sense of like,
Community.
you know, like same thing. Like we all feel the same thing as like Filipinos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why like our cultures, we talk about our cultures and like the experiences that we have as a kid and stuff, they all feel the same thing. That's why I feel like that's when it's blowing up so much more than the other one.
That's a massive part of it. But also, there's not a lot of content made for that market.
Yeah.
Especially high quality content. So that you'd instantly stand out there because like people want it, but not many people are supplying, right? So that's a huge lesson there too, especially with YouTube. There's a lot of people who say like, oh, YouTube's too saturated. But if you combined things that worked in multiple different niches and then put them together, you can basically create your own. It's like, I recommend everyone read this book. It's called The Blue Ocean Strategy. So it's essentially like, okay, I could go try to do what 101 other channels are trying to do, or I could take the best performing channel and say like sports, and then the best performing in science. And it's like, how do I combine elements of the two to create my own blue ocean? Like sports science is actually, they literally did that.
They did do that.
Right?
Yeah,
so it's like those kind of
that's
things.
so smart.
Like if you look at a channel that blew up in the past year or so, it was Jake Tran. And so what he did is he took like economics-based videos into great storytelling and combined the two. And no one was really doing that before. And then he blew up as a result of that. So if you look at someone who grows very, very quickly, they're typically doing that. They're creating their own blue ocean.
Wow, I am learning so much.
I know,
today.
bro. Like I'm just listening to Ben. I'm like, oh shit, you know.
Come on, keep going, man. Keep going. I did so much stuff today, man. Like my brain is fried. You know? So I'm just like, yo, this is good. This is what I needed today. You know, it's like I'm reading a book, but you're reading it to me.
Yeah. Well, I've been like, I forget how long I've even been doing this stuff, and also because like we have a team of like 14 that I talk to pretty well all the time, and I forget how long I've been doing this stuff. So for me, it's like, oh, common sense. But for the vast majority of people, it's totally
for us,
new.
look, well, we're so new to this thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So basically, like, we only started like, you know, like doing content literally like January of this year.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like actually taking like, you know, taking it seriously. Like we're doing little short forms and this and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're just like, you know, we're just joking around,
and
playing
like
around, all that
and
stuff
like that.
But this one, like we actually invested so much things with our time, you know, money, this and this, you know, and just like getting everybody involved. Like,
but it's genius, man, because if you're a business already, it's all tax deductible, all the effort that or the money that goes into this for one. Two, there's this book that I read in university, another one I think everyone should read. It's called The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
Okay, so Naval is like this, he's a really cool guy because he's a capitalist, but he's also a philosopher. And so that mix rarely comes together. And so
sounds like me.
he does a lot of venture capital too. And so he did this tweet thread called like how to get rich without being lucky. And it absolutely blew up. And so this guy basically took all of his best tweets and interviewed him and then put it into a book. And it's called the Almanac. And in it, he describes how to get rich. And he basically says there's only 4 or 5 different kinds of leverage. And the only one that you can really get with no money is media. And so that's like this content we're talking about here. It's because it will work beyond your efforts, right? So that was what I was obsessed with when I first started. It was like, how do I start making money when I'm so tight on time? And so I was working like multiple jobs. I had school and whatnot. So I would make a piece of content, but I'm like, this is like a little soldier I'm putting out who's fighting for me when I'm not even around, right? Making money, doing all these things. So that's what I literally look at every single video that we create. I view it as digital real estate. So people are always like, oh, Ben, why don't you buy properties? I'm like, that'd be dumb for me to buy a property because the skills that we have, I can so much more effectively create my own digital assets that will bring in way more money and not cost me anything. And the mental bandwidth of it as well.
I rate that so heavy, man. Yeah, that's what me and Kevin been talking about today, actually. Yeah. See, we were talking about this. So we were talking about how we could leverage like so much things outside of like real estate. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, it's crazy.
We were just talking about this on the car, like on the way, like, man, I don't know why people are like, you know, like, are so pressured on just buying houses all the time, thinking that just because they buy a house, they're rich.
I think it's where we live.
You know what I mean?
It's been something that's been drilled into our heads.
Yeah, man.
Here.
Like I am so like my mom literally like every year is like, why don't you buy a house? Like, why don't you buy a house? I'm like, Mom, like, you know, like I could literally open up a store and the residual that I am gonna get through the store is gonna be 10x more than what I'm gonna get through the house. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like if you think about it, like even like last year, like bro, the housing market just was screwed. You know what I'm saying? It was crashed.
Yeah, if you bought a house last year,
I feel bad for all those people.
Bad for them, man.
Bro, do you remember there was this one client that was like telling me, he's like, yo, you know, my what's it called? My interest rate went up so high to the point where like I'm literally paying for like I'm working for my house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's not living at that
bro,
point.
he has no money like outside of
the
that.
people that got the variable rate are getting fucked right now.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I think we also are blind to how messed up our market is because we're just numb to it. But I spent a ton of time in Florida and across the states.
Oh, yeah.
And my buddies are always like, "Oh, why don't you buy a property?" It's like, man, I can't get a house for $320 and 3% down.
Yeah,
like, it's just
exactly.
that wouldn't exist here.
In the States, like if you're a veteran, like 0%
Yeah.
interest, 0% down payment, and you could just get 3% interest, and that's it, bro.
Yeah.
If you're a veteran,
That doesn't
You know what I
exist
mean?
It's like
here.
a lot of
No,
other
not at all.
countries.
It doesn't
Dubai is
exist.
so much cheaper.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Damn.
We got our place. It's a townhouse, but it's like 280, 300.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
And there's no interest on the mortgage, right? Yeah, because it's considered like haram. Like they don't have interest.
no
It
way.
is. Most you're not allowed to charge interest in like
No way.
It's
Yeah.
like frowned upon.
It's like
For
it's,
real?
Well, it's considered haram, bro. It's in the Quran, where you can't loan someone money and put interest in it.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
No,
So
that's
like in
nice.
Dubai, you could literally get a house and you pay everything's all principal. There's no interest.
Yeah, and there's also
Yeah.
no income tax there as
yeah,
well,
there's
right?
no income
No.
tax. Yeah. So
Yeah, like the only people really getting fucked here are the people like that bought the houses last year to flip it.
Yes.
Now
Yeah.
they're fucked.
They're
if
stuck
if
with
they
it.
bought a family home and a fixed
Whatever.
rate,
You can sit
like,
in it.
just sit in it for 5 years. It'll go back.
yeah, but
up.
I feel bad for the families. Let's say like there's 4 people that lives in the house, and they're all work like a 9 to 5, like their salary, let's say like 60,000, like a piece, whatever, and they have $1 million house, bro. Like they're only taking home how much?
Mhm.
Like let's say they take home 12,000 a month on that household, and their mortgage is like 6,000, 7,000.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And there's 4 of them
And
working.
you're locked in there too. That's why I think I'll rent for a long time. I don't think I'll ever buy property here.
Yeah.
Ever. Like if you just do the math, it makes so much sense to buy elsewhere or put money into other places.
But the renting market in Canada is better for us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, by example, like my house in with my mom, they've only been increasing the rent by $30 a year.
Because all they can though.
That's
right?
a
Yeah, because there's a rule, right? It's
Yeah.
1%, because so there's a rule where if it's built after 2000 or something, like you could raise it as much as you want. But
no,
if
it's after anything before 2016 is rent controlled. Anything built after and occupied after is you can raise as much as you want.
Wow.
One of
That's
my buddies, his rent
crazy,
increased
bro.
by 600 a month.
600
Oh
a
Yeah.
month.
my god! Because
Where?
the house is built
It's
after
Toronto.
2016.
That's absurd.
Yeah, bro. Can you imagine
Toronto's-
that? But like, if before 2016,
You're
you
good.
could only charge an
It's
extra 30
2%.
bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, because like that's what happened in Kerr Street. So like our rent is what, like you only raised by $40 last year.
Wow.
Like what the hell is that?
Yeah, it's light.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's soft. But if it was built after 2000, you'd be like, okay, now I'm gonna charge you an extra $1,000 this month.
Yeah,
because
that's
I see that
crazy.
your business is booming or whatever.
Yeah. That's
know?
always how it goes too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
like a 1 bedroom's going for like what, 2,500 now?
It's
insane.
crazy.
in
It's crazy.
Toronto?
Yeah.
I rent mine now for 2,450. It's a 1 bedroom in North York.
Wow.
Damn, bro.
That's
insane.
insane.
And you work backwards from what most people are making.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all of their money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
bro.
crazy, man.
Like people don't understand. Like, okay, first of all, they take off money off your paychecks already, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of them taking your paychecks off, like you tax off your paychecks, you still have to pay an extra 13% on all the HST that you're buying.
Yeah.
So just take another 13% off your paycheck, because that's gone already too.
Yeah, I love that because no one thinks about that. They're like,
You know
"Oh,
what
my
I
rent's
mean?
$3,000." It's like, well, really? How much did you have to make to pay that $3,000?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But I've been thinking about this like crazy.
It is.
You know what I mean? Because maybe because we're getting older, or like, now we have like a business, we have businesses, So like now I'm trying to say, I'm like, damn, bro, I'm getting raped out here, dude.
But that's the only way to get around it, though. Is if you run your own shit, you pay less. Like you can get so many advantages.
Yeah, like
for
you have to
doing
be
that.
you have to be aware with all these things, because like not a lot of people have financial literacy.
No, that's a very
And
big
they,
problem.
bro, they
They
don't
don't
really
teach you that
teach you
at
that.
school.
in
Yeah, they don't teach
school.
that
at
That's the
school.
worst part.
You
Bro,
know?
first thing I did when I got a credit card is like, $3,000. I went
Let's
to
go.
Louis Vuitton and got a wallet. Bro, it took me 8 months to pay that off.
What?
Yeah, bro, I didn't know.
Yeah,
It must have been $1,000.
Bro,
yeah, and that happens all the time. But I think now there's so much education on
Yeah.
YouTube and shit that you can consume for free. So it comes down to wanting that stuff. Like I always knew I wanted to run business and stuff, so I was watching like Graham Stephan, I'm sure you guys
Yeah.
have heard of. And so I was watching like his first ever videos about how to manipulate credit and all that stuff. It's really not that complicated. We're just not taught it.
once you
it's
figure
not.
out, bro, now my credit score is like 865.
Mhm.
I'm good now.
That's sick, bro. Yeah, my credit score is just 720.
Well, what's a perfect credit score? I thought
900.
it's 900. I thought perfect was 850.
But Luigi's credit score is fire.
What is it?
He's riding. So I'm riding I'm riding because I feel like I'm the one taking all this risk now.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Luigi, I'm giving Luigi all the perfect
Yes, sir.
credit because I want Luigi to have like a perfect credit.
But
For me, it
700
is
not
what
bad,
it is.
though.
You know what I'm saying?
700 is good.
Yeah,
700 is
but
okay,
it could be better. but I'm
Anything
just
lower
saying-
than 650 or like
Problem.
Yeah, so
getting in the problem
that's
area.
no way, man. Like, there's no way that'll be like.
I
That's
I used to work in
terrible.
sales, and so we had to pull people's credit. That was the funniest shit ever. We'd love to like play a game, be like, "Oh, is this person as rich as they're talking like they are?" And then, or like, is their credit good? And then we'll pull it up, and they'll be like, B or C. Or like, oh, shit. It was so funny.
Bro, I knew one guy with a 300 score.
How,
Oh my
bro?
God.
Bro, at that point, just file for bankruptcy at that point.
300.
And just reset
Yeah.
your whole thing
Bro,
again in 7 years, bro.
Like we were at this job, we used to have to drive back from the work site, and he'd take the money out from what, like, we used to be salesmen. He took the money out of what he sold to put gas in his car because he'd spend everything right away, bro. He got like a $600 check at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Gone by Monday.
There's this guy who used
Yeah.
to work for my dad, a similar story. So he had this credit card debt. And so he did the math about if he paid the lowest payment every single month, like how long it would take. And he's like, oh, it would take like 90 years. And he's like, he thinks he's like
God
pulling a big
damn.
fast one on them, right? So he comes to my dad and he's like, I hacked the system, man. He's like, if I pay the minimum, I'll be dead. They won't even get their money back. It's like, no, you idiot. That's all interest, you fucking dumbass. But he was like so convinced that he like cracked the Da Vinci Code.
Oh, bro. So there was a time where I was 19 or 20. I think I was 20. So I was 20 and I was working 3 jobs at this point. I was working 3 jobs and I had so much debt that I calculated how much money I have to make for me to get back to zero without spending a single dollar.
Oh my God.
Bro, it was 18 months. And I was working 3 jobs at this point. So
Jeez.
I was so stressed. I lost 100 pounds, bro, like so fast. But I got out of it like in a span of like not even 3 months because I learned how to barber. Like barbering like saved me real quick.
100%.
Like in
man.
a span of 90 days, I paid off all my debts, and then I just boom plus more. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I'm so big on helping people grow their own shit, because whenever I come into like a money problem ever, I'm always like, how do I just make more money? Whereas people are like, how do I cut back? And I don't think there's like a right or a wrong, but there's a lot of freedom in being able to create your own income, right? If I know if I go build more shit, I can have more money and do what I want with it.
Yeah,
Much like
see?
you guys did.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing right now too. Basically, like we're just trying to get as much like streams of income as possible because right now, like I feel like we're outgrowing the other store so fast that we have to get the second one real quick.
Yeah, build on the momentum.
Yeah, because we're building on that momentum,
For
because
sure.
like so even right now, like we haven't even done no marketing whatsoever for this one, and people are calling us for this store already.
Word of mouth is huge, man.
Yeah, man. Like especially in the community, you know what I mean? Like the community has really, really helped us a lot here.
Also, I think you guys would stand out a lot based on like how you approach things too, right? Like the fact that you're even doing something like this, like people want to be a part of that, right? Because it's cool, it's new, like that's people ride with that. Whereas if you're just like standard barbershop, not doing anything, like if you give the choice, why would you not come here, right?
Yeah. Like Lauren really, really helped us out a lot with that.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
he's been super successful. Yeah, more about your work and stuff. Like, how do you so where's your clientele like is based at?
There's none in Canada, and so it's all the States and Europe.
What?
No
Yeah.
way.
So how did you get all these clients? Like
From my YouTube channel, and then most of them all came from there. Like I've never hired a salesperson. We actually just brought on our first salesperson ever, who's gonna start like next month, just because now we have someone else to run operations, so we can actually expand. But it's all been from organic content, so like my YouTube channel, and then doing really well for a client, and then word of mouth from there. So that's another reason, like the leverage piece of creating content. Like had a salesperson that I didn't have to pay. I got paid for my videos, and they were making me money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're double dipping there, and so that was absolutely massive. And like I've never had to worry about going out and needing more clients because we also do a very specific service. Like there's not a lot of people that do what we do, so our churn is very, very minimal. We don't lose clients typically.
Is there a reason you still stay in Canada? Like why not go to the States?
So living there full time is quite difficult or very expensive because to do it so legally, that's a big reason. Then I also have like a messed up knee I need to get surgery on.
Oh yeah, the healthcare here.
Yeah, and so I want to get rid of that, deal with that, and then I will absolutely leave. Like there's 0% chance I won't. It's just about dealing with that, and then because the good thing about my situation is there is a visa that exists where if the majority of your income is coming from U.S. sources, you can just make my incorporation here into an LLC in the States and then become a tax business there. And then I get a green card.
Have you ever thought about Dubai?
I haven't, but this is pretty interesting.
Yo, tell them about Dubai.
No,
Yeah,
man,
bro.
Dubai's amazing.
Really?
Bro, tell them about
the best
Dubai.
place.
Actually.
Bro, I
Listen
want
to
to
this.
move to Dubai next year.
I thought it was this is mind blowing to me because I thought it was super expensive.
Like, it depends how you live. Like,
Yeah.
like the wealth gap there's insane, like way higher than Canada.
Yeah.
It's like the super wealthy, like the richest people you'll ever see, like not even like the people you see on Forbes, like these guys are wealthy.
Mhm.
Then it's like the working class too, right? And it's insane. Like houses there are cheap, cars there aren't that bad. Everyone's like running through them, flipping them. Like
Tell them about
this-
the tax thing, man.
yeah, like the stuff you'll spend your money on, it's like the lifestyle you want to live with
Okay.
that, and that's all up to you.
Yeah.
But like the tax, it's all oil money. It's all tourist money. So there's no federal income tax.
That's crazy, man.
From what I know, at least.
Yeah. I definitely want to go out there and at
Because like,
least see.
so basically, like if you all your stuff, right? Like, are all your clients like paying you online and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a guy. So his name is actually we don't want to say
Yeah,
his
don't
name.
say his name.
You want to say his
But
name? Yeah,
my
just say
boy,
this.
my boy, he was showing
Yeah.
me all the transactions that he gets through like the daily because he owns like a business here.
Yeah.
But it's wired through like
Dubai.
Dubai.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he shows
So it's
me
not true. Okay. Yeah.
No, but all these online purchases are all going through Dubai.
through Dubai.
But all the physical purchases here is going through the account.
Okay.
here.
So billing address would be Dubai.
Dubai,
Shipping
yeah,
address here.
exactly.
Yeah.
Bro,
exactly.
he's showing me all of it. It's like, like 10, 15, like on a daily.
Yeah.
And he's like this, yo, 0 taxes.
Yeah, because all that is online purchases, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like so all the online purchases are going through Dubai with 0 tax.
Yeah. No, it's
So
hey,
like for
why
you, I
not?
feel like that would be the perfect situation for you where you
And
move
you
to
could
Dubai,
also
you
get
know?
that in like Florida and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
only 0 state. You still got to pay the
It's
federal.
federal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the federal.
See, but I take a lot of value in. I guess I haven't been there, so I don't know if I would lose this stuff. But I love the fact, the kind of life that we have here. Like I only dislike Canada for like the taxes and some other things we don't have to go into.
Yeah.
But like, and the fact that it's like I hate that it's super cold here. And there's a few other things I really don't like, but I like the way of life for the most part.
Yeah.
So like, is that dramatically different in Dubai or is it similar?
I'd say it's different in a sense. It's like more, everything's a little bit more luxury there,
Okay.
right? Like you go out for a lunch, you'll see like maybe like 10 Rolls Royces on a
Jesus.
5-minute drive.
Wow.
It's like,
Would you say it's more conservative? Because like I remember going back to
I thought it was going to be more conservative than it was.
yeah.
Yeah, like I was watching YouTube videos when I went the first time. It was like top 10 things not to do in Dubai.
Yeah.
So like I'm stressed the whole time. I get there, it's like everyone's chill, everyone's relaxed, everyone's smoking outside. It's like marijuana's completely illegal. Dubai itself, like the city,
Yeah.
you can't buy alcohol there. You
Mm.
can in Abu Dhabi, but like by that I mean like you can't bring it into your own house.
Mm.
You can go out to bars and drink, that's fine, but you can't, there's no like LCBO where you can buy alcohol and
Really?
stuff like that.
Mm.
So you can't have house parties
Like even
then?
for me, that'd be too hectic for me if I lived
Yeah.
there.
That sounds
Because like
hectic.
I feel like I'm being controlled by certain
Yeah.
things, you know.
So
That's why I love Florida and Texas.
yeah, Texas is,
You know?
Texas is lit.
Texas,
Especially
is-
Houston.
My favorite,
Houston's
my
cool.
favorite state is Texas for sure.
Yeah.
Have you been around Florida much?
Huh?
Have you been around in Florida much?
Yeah. So I was in Miami during COVID.
Okay.
Because like remember when all this like you know
Yeah.
all this variant whatever is happening, like me and Luigi just felt like okay like I want to get out of here, you know, because like I feel like there's nothing for me here at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Luigi went to Florida for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then after we went to Florida, we went to Texas.
And you prefer Texas?
I prefer
Yeah.
Texas.
Really? And so what
100%.
was it that sold you on Texas versus Florida?
I feel like in Florida, cause I was in Miami, we stayed in Brickell, and I feel like everyone there just like it's too much of a competition, you know.
That's Miami though. That's it.
Yeah,
That's not like
it's not like the whole Florida state, just Miami in general. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
felt like everyone's too much competition, and like you know, if you're not driving, like you know, like a foreign, like you're nobody.
that's why I don't go to Miami.
You know what I
So
mean?
I stay up further north, and it's not
Mhm.
like that at all. It's
Where?
it's probably a lot more like the things you loved about Texas.
Mhm.
It's far more chill. There's way less of that. Of course, there's a bit of that everywhere,
Mhm.
but Miami is like that on steroids, dude.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but I was like, man, this is not for me, man. Everything's so damn expensive. Like,
For no reason, man.
it's crazy. Like a night out is like 5K American.
Like
Minimum.
It's just ridiculous.
Minimum for no reason. And then we go to Houston.
Everything was so
Holy,
cheap, bro.
Yeah, everything was so cheap.
Houston's sick.
Everyone was so nice.
So
like they're
friendly.
like, you know, the Southern
Hospitality,
hospitality.
you saw it.
Bro, that's a real thing.
Oh,
man.
it's so real. Everyone in Canada, everyone's like, oh, Canadians are so nice.
Yeah.
Bro, Canadians
Fuck
are
that.
assholes, man.
Canadians are not nice. We
No,
are
not at all.
polite. We are polite.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah,
man.
bro.
Yeah.
They should go to Toronto. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, see how it is in Toronto?
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, yo, why is everyone such a fucking dick
dick.
out here?
Man,
You know what I mean?
So a story about that. So like when we landed in Houston, like we got an Uber or whatever, and like our Uber driver, he looked kind of like scary looking, you know?
Mm.
But we couldn't find our spot. Bro, this guy took like 30, 40 minutes of his time to help us find our spot. And we're just like, yo, you're
no,
so...
because we rented a two-row car.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't find where
okay.
we couldn't find where the parking space is. Like, no, I'm gonna drop you off until we find the car.
Yeah,
Damn.
until we find the car. And I'm just like, damn, bro.
See,
like
and I've
Canadians
been-
would not do that.
Hell no. Here, no. But everyone here is so worried that you're going to get screwed over or someone's going to like get you. I've been going to the States since I was like a little kid, and I've always seen the hospitality there has been like far and away here.
Even when I go to LA, it's like the nicest people.
Really?
Yeah.
I've not been to LA
I
yet.
don't want to go to LA,
I
to
don't
be
wanna go to
honest.
LA.
No,
That's
bro,
not for me.
everyone says like bad things about it, but I love it. It's my favorite place in
Really?
the States.
I don't
100%.
know.
He's not sold.
But I don't know how I feel about LA.
Have you
know?
been?
No, but I've seen too many things. I know I have a lot of family members in LA.
No,
Actually.
Yeah.
Really?
And they've been telling me to go, but I'm like, man, I don't want to see homeless people everywhere.
I was
You
in
know what I
San
mean?
Fran last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the homeless problem is very, very real.
Yeah,
It
I
is
don't
San
wanna- I don't
Fran.
want
It
to
is
see all
crazy.
those
Once you
things.
live
Like,
in Ottawa, like the homeless people anywhere else, it's not.
oh,
that
not
bad.
compared
Ottawa's
to
bad?
probably
Yeah,
San
Ottawa's
Francisco.
horrible.
Really?
You know, and like I think the problem here in Canada at the moment too is like, well, people forgot how to communicate with each other. Like, you know, like even just like walking by or walking past, or just making a little joke towards a person. They're like, oh, what?
Bro,
like, you know what I'm saying?
me and Ben were talking about this literally like 20 minutes ago when I was
Yeah.
cutting his hair, how like COVID messed up a lot of people.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
like they
Everyone's,
forgot how
like,
to talk
scared
to
of
people. You know what I mean?
Socialize.
I say hi to people in Toronto and they look at me like I have four heads.
Yeah,
They're like,
"What's-"
what do you want from me? I'm like, I said hello.
yeah.
I'm like,
What's
chill.
wrong with people? Like, even like, you know, like some certain people, like, you know, like that we see that's walking by, say, oh, hello, like, how are you? And just be like,
Hmm.
like, you know, like maybe because how we look, I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
there's been so much division. It's kind of on topic with all of the social and stuff. We have all these means for connection, and we've never been more divided.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And there's just obviously algorithms that do a lot of that work, but it's insane.
Well, we are super divided here for sure.
It's everywhere though.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it has to do with what we're consuming. Like the content thing is crazy. Also because like confirmation bias, are you familiar with that principle?
Mm-mm.
So basically it's like whatever your belief is, you will seek out information that's in alignment with your beliefs to reaffirm that to yourself. And so now that was always happening, but typically you had to do a lot of work to find these things.
Mhm.
Now it's coming right to your face. Right.
Yeah.
So on your freaking phone, you're going to see shit after shit after shit reinforcing your beliefs.
Mhm.
So confirmation bias sets in. And so if you're on one side, you've never been more confirmed that you're right. And if you've been on the other side, you've never been more confirmed. So this person has to be wrong because I'm so right.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh,
And that's the
that's
problem
true.
is like we have so much conviction in our beliefs because it's reinforced, because it's good content. It'll get us emotionally charged, like you said
Yeah.
earlier.
Oh, I feel like I had to watch out my TikToks.
No, that's
You know?
honestly, if anyone leaves from this episode with anything, it's like to think about what you're consuming and how is that impacting you. Because a lot of us are just purely blindly going and not thinking about it. That's why I'll seek out things that are opposing to my beliefs. Because maybe I'm like, oh, I don't want to get too extreme here. Like, let's see, let's challenge it. I'll go watch some. I was about to get in trouble there. I'll go watch some shit being like, I know I'm not gonna like their opinions, but let me give them a chance.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, no, I'm still good. I'll do that every so often just because I don't want to become too crazy. Because that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't agree
Yeah,
with.
because you don't want to go too extreme to anything,
Either way.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
100%.
whatever your belief is, like if you're an extremist on any beliefs that you have,
I don't like you.
you're crazy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
100%.
saying? Like, so that's why it's better to get that, like, you know, that neutral balance. You know what I mean?
So
And,
rare,
like
though.
no one's open to a conversation anymore.
Thank you,
It's
dude.
insane.
Yeah.
Bro, okay.
Like, I love how you guys are like looking at each other like you guys have some inside jokes or something. What's wrong with you guys, man?
Because he
What's
told me
going
a
on here?
funny ass story, bro. I was cutting his hair.
I got a funny story, bro. It's kind of on topic, but I'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. So there's this girl I matched with on Hinge, right? And I don't even know how we matched. I think it was a plant. Like, I think she was like, whatever. But she lives in Vancouver, and she's like, I want to come visit you in Toronto. I'm like, hey, sure. You can even stay at my place if you want, because shit's expensive here. Like, you know, so you don't need a hotel. She comes. She's supposed to stay there for the whole weekend. I don't know how this got brought up right away, but she's like, what are your political beliefs? And I said like, whatever. I thought it was going to end there.
Yeah.
She's like dug in and was like, why do you think like that? And so we had these crazy arguments where like the logic was just not there. And so eventually I was just like, okay, we got to stop this conversation because this shit is crazy. And then the next morning she left, bro.
No way.
She was supposed to be there all weekend.
Oh, so she slept over your house.
Yes.
And then, oh my god.
The next day she was gone, bro. But some of the things I'm just like, there's no way someone came to that way of thinking on their own.
No,
like there's no possible way. Like, some of the things that were coming out of her mouth, I'm just like, are you? So like I was pointing out definitions of words, and she says, I don't see it like that. I was like, this is a definition. If you start questioning definitions, that is anarchy. Like that is where we lose all semblance of civilization there. Like that's crazy.
That girl would hate me if she seen me.
Oh,
man.
she
would have hated all of us, dude.
Would hate Leo.
Bro, my girl always says like, thank God I didn't know your political beliefs when we first started dating.
No,
she's like, no, it's too late.
Okay, we're not saying what our political beliefs is, but you could probably tell.
Dude, and I don't even have a problem. Like some of my best friends.
I'm a proud donor, man.
Okay, well, this guy, watch this guy.
Some of my best friends are like lie on the total opposite spectrum, and that's totally cool because I'm down to speak to them. Like much like you said, most people just aren't willing to talk at all. It's not good.
I feel like
and when you don't talk, like that's where the division is. If you have that conversation, you're good. Like my girl's on the complete other side of the spectrum, but we're still cool. Like we have the conversation.
Oh, same as
she's
my
right
wife
in
too,
these
man.
ways. I think I'm right in these ways, and we like call it even there.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. And any conversation I'm in, I'm always like, my opinion's dumb, your opinion's dumb. It's probably somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Just understand that.
Exactly, but don't hate the person.
You just can't go to the extreme. Once you start going to the extreme, it's over.
because there's too many people. Like let's say, in the
But there's a
States,
lot of
right?
people doing that shit, man.
No.
It's
but
most people
Bro,
are
it is
doing
crazy, bro. Like there's so many things that are people like that are beefing outside their houses just because of their beliefs and like
people are
like, that's
angry,
crazy.
man. And so I get to see this every day from all the accounts that we manage and shit, ours and then clients. The comments that people leave on people's shit is fucking crazy.
Oh, I get the most of that.
Bro, the Filipino ones, the Filipino podcast that we have this one. I guess he's a hater.
Yeah, he's a hater.
But he waits for all our videos.
Every single video?
Every single video.
I-
And we love it. And we're just like, yo, this guy's so funny.
Yeah.
I used to have a guy who, whenever I'd post a video, the second it dropped, dislike. Like instantly, bro.
I told him he's my son now.
Yeah.
I told him, send me your address so your mom could be my girlfriend, and then so you could call me your daddy finally.
That's the only way to do it. Just like not even care.
It's fun, bro.
It is.
I like, to be honest, like like obviously I don't like people hating me in person, whatever, like, bro, I want to show love to everybody.
Yes, I agree.
But if you're gonna hate me over the screen, bro, I might as well have fun with it. You know what I'm
because like,
saying?
who gives a fuck at
Because
that point?
I
They
love
don't
it,
know
man.
you.
Like, I
It's
find
so
it,
funny,
Exactly.
bro.
yeah, I find it hilarious when people hate him because, like, bro, you don't know me as a person and you don't know the values I have and the things that I actually do. You know what I mean?
It's-
Like, I know myself that I'm a good person, and you know what I mean? But you're just hating,
So there's two things. Like with my stuff, it's all my face. It's really funny. I love replying in depth to those ones because they're like, oh shit, I just thought you wouldn't see this because you get tons of views. We just figured you wouldn't see this. And then on the other side where it's like faceless brands that we have, I'll just troll like crazy.
That's so funny.
Oh, I troll with my face in it. I don't care, man.
Yeah, I go to approaches. Like if they chirp me directly, I'll just like casually come back, and 9 times out of 10 they're like, "Fuck, sorry, like, I didn't think you'd see this." Yeah. Or I'll get like, man, crazy sus comments too, man. Like gay guys for whatever reason love my shit, like my videos.
Oh, nice, man.
And it's not nice, bro. Like they're because I see what girls are like. I understand why some girls are like, "Fuck guys," because a gay guy hits on a guy, like in general, like it's a guy, right? So he hits on what he wants the same way a guy would on a girl.
Yeah.
Some of the comments these guys leave, I'm like, bro, did you really just say that? And I'll literally reply back with emoji like this. And, oh my God, I didn't think you'd see this.
Oh yeah, bro. I've been to Thailand, bro, and they're pretty aggressive.
Oh,
Bro,
yeah.
you know Jesse, like the Jack guy?
Yeah.
So he was telling me about a story how like there's a guy that wants to fly him out to like Miami or
they
like
meet?
Florida. Oh, like he just comments on his picture saying like, "Oh, so hot!" Like every time he posts a pictures and shit.
Bro, there's a
And
few
he's
guys.
It's a compliment, man.
It is,
You know?
it is.
If a gay guy thinks you're handsome, then you're really
That's what I
handsome.
bro. I
You know
literally
what
told
I'm
him
saying?
that. I'm
Like-
like, bro, don't be like weirded out about it. You know, it's
Yeah.
only weird if you think it's weird.
But
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
just like
Exactly.
accept it. He just thinks you're a good looking guy. You know, and bro, it doesn't help the fact that all your content is you with your shirt off because you
Oh,
work
then
out all the
that's
time.
so different.
Oh,
You
you're
know what I'm
talking
saying?
about
Jesse.
Natty, like Natty guy. Or Jesse,
Jesse, like Choo Choo's friend.
Oh, I thought Natty guy, bro.
No, because apparently his brother, he blew up on TikTok, and his brother started like an OnlyFans or whatever.
Thirst trap stuff.
Yeah, and this guy made like 50K in 1 month.
Jeez.
And
his older brother.
And I told him, I'm like, Jesse, what are you doing, bro? Like you're not a bad looking guy. Like you can do the exact same thing. And
wow, Luigi's trying to pimp guys, bro.
But
Luigi's gonna be the first subscriber.
Luigi's trying to pimp guys.
I'm telling this guy, I'm just like, bro, like if you want to get out of your university debts and all that shit, because like, bro, he's a lost kid. You know what I'm saying, Leo? Yeah. Bro,
that
this guy's
so
always talking
funny.
about how like, yo, he's so broke, he's this and shit like that. Bro, you have your brother to set you up for success. That's what Leo did to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with barbershop, not OnlyFans.
Yeah. Bro, I don't think the OnlyFans is gonna work with me. You know, my shunk's not that big. You know, it's not gonna work. My eggplant is not the full eggplant.
But if he's posting thirst traps, like that's his business. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah. And I told him, bro, like you can fucking make money off this shit, you know? And he's like, no, I don't want to do it.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, bro. Don't force the man, bro.
These guys trying to be entertainment for guys.
Bro, fucking do it, man. Make money. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, this guy is a crazy mod, bro.
Bro, I'm trying to make money. That's my number one thing. You know?
There you go.
It's not my
Start the
fault.
first ever male OnlyFans agency.
Yeah, Luigi the pimp for the guys.
Exactly, bro. I get 60-40 dad.
That is so funny. So do you have any advice on like the young what's called young YouTubers that wants to follow suit on what you're doing?
Yes, that's a good transition. So I think it depends on what your goals are. I think that's the biggest thing, is that the proper recipe depends on what you're trying to make, right? And so a lot of people are like, okay, I want to be a YouTuber, but it's like there's 20 different definitions to what a YouTuber looks like, right? Like, are you a YouTuber like Mr. Beast? Because he's not really like, he's more of like an entertainment asset, right? Like I view him more as like Disney, right? Where so he's building $1 billion brand, but there's also people that are building like $1 billion brands in say like more of an education space. And so they're both doing it through the vehicle of YouTube, but the strategy would be totally different. And so like it totally depends like what you want to build. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber because I want to be rich. It's like, well, if you're playing the entertainment game and trying to build the audience, that's so much harder than if you were to go like the transformation, the business route. So I think that's the biggest advice, is what do you actually want, so that we can actually give you advice that will get you there. And so that's why a lot of people come to us, is because we can actually basically put them on the right path, being like, hey, here's what you're trying to achieve. Here's what I would do to get there. And then here's like how we're going to get the traffic.
So what's like the age demographic of your clientele?
They're all like our age or older. Usually max out at like 50 is like the highest.
Damn.
That's so
50,
crazy.
That's crazy, bro. Like you mentoring a 50-year-old. That's crazy.
Honestly, like the biggest thing that's been helpful is that they view age or being young as like a positive thing, right? Like everyone's told, oh, if you don't have a degree, like they're going to look at you weird. People in this space are like, oh, the younger people must know it better than I do. So you actually get more respect in this space from being younger.
Oh yeah, because of like, obviously like the social media stuff and all this stuff, because like this didn't exist to them.
Exactly. It's totally brand new. And so they'll come and they'll explain it. And some of the biggest transformations have been for people that are like 40 and shit. And you see them start making content and stuff and it's like blowing up. It's
know
dope.
that video of like this one guy, he started this YouTube account. It's he didn't have a dad.
Yes.
And
Dad,
how do I?
Dad. I think that was the smartest thing ever, man.
See, but that's a blue ocean, much like we were talking about earlier, right? Where he's like, okay, how do I take like how-to videos? Been done forever. We took the different angle of like how-to, and then like people who want like that father figure, boom, create his own blue ocean.
That guy's a
blew
genius.
Up. Yeah,
man.
he is.
Oh, I gotta read this book now, man.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna read it too.
See,
it's
like,
good.
cause I'm like all the books that I've been reading lately is just like, you know, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, you know, the 10X rule.
Yeah,
like,
I haven't read a book
you know,
since
like
fucking grade.
Okay, bro.
Really? I read books all the
Leo's
time.
capping, bro. It's like audio for him.
Oh,
Okay?
but
He's not
still
reading it. It's audio.
Oh, but it still counts.
You
Yeah,
can't
it
say
still
you read
counts.
the book. Though.
Okay.
You listen to it.
And The
listen to
Secret.
it, yeah.
Oh, but I have the book in front of me.
Yeah, he's going through it like this,
But
right?
read,
what I'm saying?
read the almanac, read the ocean
With the
strategy.
ruler.
I have the book in front of me. I'm going like this. Oh,
Okay, so
nice,
wait, you're doing
you know?
both? You're listening?
Yeah,
That's double the comprehension right there.
Yes.
Wow, this guy's such an asshole. Like, just literally just, oh, yeah, forget this guy. He doesn't read books.
What a hater.
You know what I'm saying?
What
You're
a
actually
hater.
the biggest hater, man.
Yes, Sirski.
Yeah, I don't see. You would not be here without me.
Well, like
That's
one
good.
last thing, Ben, I want to congratulate you with 100,000 K subscribers.
Yes, sir.
So how'd that feel, man? I wanna.
Bro, this is the weirdest thing ever. Like I was chasing that so hard.
Mm.
I haven't even opened the plaque yet.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh,
Like,
damn it! You should have brought it here so we could.
I
show
honestly
it.
should
Dude,
have.
that's just
But
sick.
I'm sure you guys already have this. There's a curse of being an ambitious person because as soon as you achieve what you were trying to, you're instantly like, why didn't I do it faster? Or like, what's next? Right? And so it lasts for like 5 seconds and then you're like, hey, what's the next one? So yeah, it's really, really cool. I'm glad I have that. But like a lot of other stuff, we're going to have a bunch more of the channels that we have. So it wasn't as great as I thought it would be. And it never is. I think that's kind of like how it goes.
So do you ever notice that like the people that you thought that you're gonna be like like up with and and stuff like that, like they start looking at you different because of the things that you're being achieving?
I would say it was even before that. It was just from trying was when people were looking at me like hella weird. Like I can't tell you how many times people called me like Mr. Podcast in like a derogatory sense.
That's messed up.
They'd be making fun of me for making my YouTube videos and stuff. Like I remember this girl was like, oh, because everyone was roasting me when no one was watching, right? And then now it's like, if I don't do anything, I'll make like 5x their salary. So it's like, who's laughing now kind of thing. But it's because never was even that mad because it was ignorance, right? Like they don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
But I remember this one girl at a party, she's like, it was so vicious. I literally like asked her to grab me a drink because she was standing right beside it. And she's like, oh, like, sorry, I'm not someone who feels the need to film every moment of their life. I was like, you've been holding on to that one for a while. Because there's no connection whatsoever.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was a lot of hate. And then even the biggest thing that changed for me was when I got on the national news. So like 2020, it was like January 2020, I got on the live CTV national news and I got so many.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember this.
Yes,
Yeah, you're right.
that
I
was
posted
like,
this on Instagram.
I remember this.
Yeah, that blew up. And that was crazy because even a lot of my own friends, they're like, oh, I can't lie. I used to roast you a lot. And now you're on my TV, right? And so I think that's just kind of par for the course. If you're doing anything off the beaten path, you're gonna get roasted a little bit.
100%, man.
But think about who is that's roasting you, right? As someone who's confident in themselves, I've never roasted someone doing their own thing because why would I? That's stupid. I go to them and be like, what can I learn? Like, how did you do that? How can I try to do that myself?
That's what I have, like all these mentors. Like I have 2 mentors that I actually listen to, and like that's basically. They teach me, it's like, bro, you just have to have tunnel vision. Like there's a guy that told me, said, the more and more you start opening other things or like they see you like win, people are just gonna
switch up.
They're trying to drag you down because you're moving forward and then they're trying to pull you back to where they are. You know what I mean? And like I see that, man.
That's a massive part of it. I think ignorance is a huge part of it too, though. Right? Like a lot of people like they beef with their parents and stuff because the advice they're giving them, but it's like it comes from a good place. Their parents just grew up in a different world. And so you have to have the conviction to believe in what you're doing enough to be like, I know this better than the people who are saying this, and then go to where someone who's done it already and then listen to them.
That's like, you need mentors,
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, thank you, Ben, for coming to our podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
in the new
so
shop.
where can they find you?
Yeah, where
man?
can they find you, bro?
Yeah. So if you're trying to work with us, we typically only take on people who are trying to do YouTube specifically. And so you can find us at bunnymedia.co. That's the name of the agency. And then I'm on socials at if you type in Ben Leavitt, you'll find me. Leavitt is spelled Leavitt.
What's your phone number, dude?
He's the only one that's ever given it out.
This is a trap that I do all the time.
People usually give it out.
No, only one guy.
Only one guy. And then like I've been trying to get another one to say it, man. And this guy's always ruining it.
I wasn't gonna give it.
Oh damn. Yeah, man. Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Boys. Appreciate you.